Welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Interim Recreation Center Manager for the City of Cottonwood, Hezekiah Allen. Today we have Lorenda Yoke with the City of Cottonwood, the Reservations Coordinator. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Hez?
Good, good. Where are we today?
We are at the fabulously newly renovated Cottonwood Community Club House.
Fantastic facility. It just had the re-grand opening last weekend, and we are very excited to be doing this show here on site, on location, to show you, the viewers, what you can expect when you come into this facility. You know, we always want to highlight the fact that love built this building, love for community made this happen originally, and love for this community is what got it back and up and going. And I can't thank enough our staff, our team, the community, local contractors, NACOG, the Yavapai County, the City Council for helping us take this vision to what you see here today. And so we want to talk a little bit about history today. We're going to talk about how to make a reservation here for the facility and what's so great about this and why the location makes sense. So Lorenda, if I'm a renter, I'm looking to have a wedding in northern Arizona, probably the prettiest place in the state. We're right next to Sedona. Why would I pick the clubhouse?
Just for its historical content, the Old Town community itself, lots of things to do. They can make a full day of it. Even overnight, make a weekend of it, is what we're encouraging people to do.
Fantastic. You know, you and I live here, so we see it every day. My wife and I, we went on a trip this past weekend to go up and watch the leaves change. Obviously, you don't actually watch the leaves change color. So we got to drive through Oak Creek Canyon and have a lunch in Indian Gardens and look at the leaves and look at the valley and think to ourselves, I can't believe we live here. And so when we think about this facility, it doesn't surprise me why people would want to come here. And when you're comparing this facility to something in Sedona or Flagstaff, and I remember when my wife and I got married, we were looking for those places that were charming. What makes the clubhouse so charming?
It just, again, it's history, where it started, how it started to be, which, you know, Miss Garrison will be, you know, giving a little bit of that later.
Right.
Just how it's evolved, the community involvement in the renovation and getting it to this beautiful facility it is currently. I'm
glad you bring up the project and the renovation because our viewers deserve to know the story that it started out as HVAC. We just wanted to get the place up and wanted to take the swamp coolers out. I can't tell you how many people have come through the facility and gone, where are the swamp coolers at?
Yeah.
And so we were able to get rid of those by going to the HVAC, and then it turned out that we got connected with Bill Altwell and Doug Stroh, two fantastic architects that their focus is bringing back historic facilities. And actually Doug Stroh had a connection to Lester and Mahoney, the original architects for this facility, found the original plans down at the Arizona Library, Arizona Foundation. Viewers just know that there's a place down there in Phoenix that has these original documents. I can't think of it right now, but he brought them to the re-grand opening, and I am telling you, Lorenda, it looks like they were done by this crazy computer, but they were all hand-drawn plans, and so much so that they had three levels for each project. So for example, the stage was value engineered and had 3 different options that they could choose from depending where their funds lie. And so when this building was brought back, Yavapai County threw in some money, CDBG funds, the City of Cottonwood threw in CDBG funds, and we had a great contractor out of the Flagstaff area to bring this building back. HVAC was done, mechanical was done, LED lights, ADA restrooms upstairs were done. All the stuff that you don't see was what was done originally when we did the renovation, and then over time, about a year or so, is our crew coming in here and painting things and getting the floor redone and getting the kitchen redone with the countertops. And how cool is that kitchen with? That's one solid piece of wood, and you can count the rings of the tree. I mean, you don't find stuff like that anymore.
So unique.
So unique. So I really feel, I know you do as well, that a renter coming into this facility and seeing what it is, you can't build this today. You just can't, especially in wine country.
Yeah, and which is a huge added benefit.
Huge added benefit. Right next to the river. right next to Old Town. You can literally stroll out, go see the wineries, go to each one. Okay, so I'm a renter. How do I do it? What do I do?
Well, you could go to the communityclubhouse.com.
Okay.
That's a good place to start. Gives you a lot of detailed information, costs, some different vendors in the area that you could start, working with in doing your planning.
Okay.
That actually goes directly to me, to my office, and then I start from there. What are you looking for?
Oh, nice.
How many people? What's additional time frames that you need? Calendar, of course, things of that nature.
Nice. Now, I'm playing renter right now.
Okay, renter.
So I like that so much because there are so many times where you go to these facilities and they pass you off to different people. Well, this person handles wedding reservations, and then this person handles community events and corporate events, and then for tables and chairs, please go over here. But I can come to you for everything.
Correct. I'm the one-stop shop.
That's fantastic. Doors wide open, and that's a phone call directly to you or an email.
Correct.
And I'm sure we can put that on the screen for our viewers to see. So cost. That always comes down to cost. I mean, what am I going to pay? I got a tight budget.
Very important. I understand that,
Okay.
especially in wedding venues.
Right.
So very reasonable. Kudos to our
City council.
staff, council and such. For an event, $75 an hour.
An hour.
An hour.
Wow.
That's for.
We're not talking minutes. You're not saying.
Nope.
Okay.
An hour. So, for example, you need 2 hours of setup. Your event's going to be 3 hours, an hour takedown. You pay for the time on site, which that's a standard in the industry for special event venues.
Right.
But what that includes is all of the high-tech audio and visual.
Wow.
It includes 20 units of 72-inch round event tables.
Wow. Okay. So I don't have to rent those separate.
No,
that comes with that.
Unless you need more than that. But 20 fills this space pretty well.
Okay.
We have 200 chairs that is included.
Wow.
We have 4 serving tables that are 8-footers, which are great size for, table displays, bar setups, on several different uses.
Right.
We have a beautiful new podium that we just got.
That's right.
Very cool. We have all microphones that you might need, cordless, lapel, headset.
Okay.
Just.
So this is a full event center.
Absolutely.
Like for $75, I'm getting a full event center that can hold a really good amount of people in Old Town Cottonwood, northern Arizona, $75 an hour.
Correct.
And okay, here's the question that gets everybody. What's the deposit?
For an event, it is, now keep in mind, these are completely refundable deposits. For an event, it's $800.
Okay.
We do have a reduced rate for meetings or nonprofit uses.
Okay.
Those are $50 an hour, but still an amazing cost factor.
Okay.
The deposit on the meeting and nonprofits is $400. Now, as long as the venue's cleaned up, things are looking good upon your departure, you just come and pick those up, or if it's put on a credit card, it's refunded the following business day.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Easy.
So I'm your host, Hezekiah Allen, Interim Recreation Center Manager for the City of Cottonwood. This is Lorenda Yoke, Reservations Coordinator for the city. If you have a desire to rent the clubhouse for a wedding, corporate event, community event, Lorenda is your person to go to. She's fantastic to work with. We look forward to seeing you here at this facility. Up next, we'll be talking a little bit of history and Old Town Association with my friend Debbie Garrison. Thank you.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Hezekiah Allen, Interim Recreation Center Manager for the City of Cottonwood. With me, I've got Debbie Garrison. You wear a lot of hats. So Historic Preservation Commission, Old Town Association, and I'm sure it's like Santa's list where just go, this is everything that Debbie Garrison's involved with. And I think as a community, we're lucky to have you. We're lucky to have the Garrison family. One of the council meetings recently, we talked about the Garrison family and how much history is involved with you guys in this valley, and especially this facility and the history here. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, the history of the clubhouse a little bit. We'll have fun with it, go back and forth. Old Town Association, and then we'll talk about some of the annual events that happen here at the clubhouse. So give me a little bit of a rundown. What's the story? What's the cliff notes on the clubhouse?
The clubhouse, actually, I love the story behind the clubhouse. The property was originally Stranahan's Hopkins Ranch, and then the UVX, United Verde Extension Mining Company, had purchased the property, and they took the property, and this is where the original Clemenceau School was.
You're kidding.
Located, yes.
Oh, wow.
And so when they
cool is that?
rebuilt the new Clemenceau School, this property was still part of the school district. And there was a group of women, the Cottonwood, the Community
Civic Club? Yeah.
And these women wanted a facility that they could hold meetings in, socials in.
Wow.
And I believe that was in somewhere around like 1935.
And so that's like, sorry to interrupt you, but that's smack dead in a depression.
Right.
And so here is a group of women going, we want to build a community center, and the entire country is struggling to make it.
Right.
I didn't quite understand, obviously I'm not from that time period, what the Great Depression is. I've seen it in movies. My son and I just watched the movie Seabiscuit not too long ago, and it talks about how this country was struggling. People were struggling to eat, and these women had a vision for this community to bring people together. I had to stop you on that. I always think that is so special.
Yeah, but if you think about it, with the Great Depression, you want to socialize, you want that camaraderie, you want to bring everybody together. And I think that was the vision of these ladies.
Wow.
And so,
goosebumps.
Yes. And so at that time, this women's group went to the WPA to see if they could get some funding. And they were able to get some funding, and they had to raise 1/3 of it themselves. And I believe the cost for the building was somewhere around $30,000. And the women had to raise around $5,000.
In 1935,
and
36.
Actually, yeah, I think it was more of 1938. Because from 1935 on, they were just forming their group. And so anyways, they went and they got some funding from the WPA. They had fundraisers. Lots of fundraisers, silver teas, they had bridge, Chinese checkers, dances, lots of bake sales. They also, there was a day that was called Trade Day, and Trade Day was a day that everybody would come to town, bring their pigs, their animals, or whatever their goods were, and they would trade. And the women had decided that they would do an elephant sale on that Trade Day. And so anyways, they were able to raise the funds. The other thing I did a little bit of reading on, and I thought it was kind of interesting that the people in town tried to avoid these ladies because they were always asking for money. Anyways, it was the perseverance of that women's group that really made the Civic Center happen. And I also love the motto of this women's group. It was a heart and a key, and it was the, let's see, the work the work from the heart is to achieve.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
that so sums it up. And I could only imagine sitting around the table as somebody was like, we're going to build something. We're going to build this however many square feet monster facility here in Old Town with a stage, and they had sound systems, and they had, a lot of people don't know this, but above the entry when you walk in the facility is actually the old projection room. And they had the vision to build that during a time when America was struggling. And their motto was from the heart. And I just think that is so special. So many times we just had the Rosie the Riveter monument being grand opening over at the Military Service Park, and some of the original Rosie the Riveters were there. And one of the things that resonated strongly with me is that you so much hear the stories of the men who went to war. You do not hear the stories of the women who also went to war. And one of the stories was a woman who would work 6 days a week for 14 hours a day, winding these electric motors by hand. And she said that, I got this secondhand, but she had said that it took her a couple of weeks before her hands were calloused enough to where they wouldn't bleed. And they drank out of a 55-gallon bucket of water with ladles, and they would waft the flies off to get the drink of the water. And here, back to the clubhouse, is a group of women that brought this facility back, that pulled people together, and I strongly believe made this a community. And that's why we are the heart of Arizona's wine country and the heart of the Verde Valley, because of great people and great families.
Yes.
And so can you explain a little bit more about WPA and what that means? And so you talked about they raised the money and about $20,000, and it was a Works Progress Administration. From my understanding, that was a part of the New Deal. But somebody had told me a story of a dump truck.
Oh, well, actually what happened was the WPA would give this group of women $8 a day for a truck to grab river rock, or to haul river rock from the Verde River up here for the building. Okay. And the women were actually very smart because they determined it was better for them to purchase a truck, and I believe the truck was somewhere around $365 or something like that. They purchased that truck, still collected the $8 a day from the WPA, and at the end, when this building was built, 1939, they were actually able to sell that vehicle, and they still had collected more money than they had actually expensed.
Just savvy, you know, looking at it going, how can I make it, how can we make this work? One of the things I thought was interesting when the architects were looking at the building, so Lester and Mahoney, I mean, these were top architects for the state of Arizona. The only way that this happened is because these women went to Mr. Clark and said, we want your architects, can you help us out? And they got involved with the project. But a lot of the materials that were used in here were recycled from local mining sites and different locations, the steel that's in the windows. The kitchen, when you go into that, the handles now have a little piece of red on it, but that signifies originally it was a ball of yarn or a yarn.
Actually, what it was a wooden spoon with a washer on it.
Oh my goodness. See, that kind of stuff. But I bet that wooden spoon with a washer probably looked great up there, and you wouldn't even know the difference. Right. That's just ingenuity. It's fantastic. Yeah. So, Old Town. A lot has happened down here. Can you kind of tell our viewers about Old Town and what's transpired and the great local businesses that are down here?
Yes, Old Town has actually, it's had its ups and downs, as you speak to others. And right now, Old Town is booming. A lot of people want to just come to Old Town, hang out. They also want to visit the wineries, visit the shops, the restaurants. But Old Town just has this warm feel about it. It does. And that's why it's great that the Civic Center, the Cottonwood Community Club House
we'll get into that a little bit later. Just hang with us.
But, you know, Old Town, people just want to be down here. Yeah. You know, even if it's just that they sit on the benches.
And people watch.
And watch, yes. Yeah.
Great restaurants down here. A lot of awards that have been won through the restaurants that are here. Mostly local businesses. A lot of wineries. What's on the street now? 8, 9 wineries, something like that. And then, in addition to, there's a large project going up on the hill that we're all very excited for. That's a teaser, by the way. And and then events. The Old Town Association puts on some great events. Chocolate Walk's coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And that's annual. That's every year we do this.
Yes. There is a chocolate walk annually. It generally falls right after the annual Christmas parade as well. I mean, Old Town has become a place to have events.
Yes.
People just love being down here in Old Town. And, you know, it's great. The Old Town Association has tried to figure out how to pick up on that, create more events down here, not only for the locals, but also for those in the surrounding areas and bring people in from other states. It's great when you meet people that come in from the other states and they think Old Town is just wonderful. They love it here, you know, and unfortunately, fortunately, they want to move here.
Right.
But anyways, Old Town is a wonderful place to visit and just hang out.
It's still that niche that I've noticed, and I'm sure you have too, to where it's not like on this broad scheme where nationwide we are getting there and some of that notoriety, but we're still that hush-hush secret place. It's like, have you been to Old Town Cottonwood? It is beautiful. No, I haven't, and I gotta go next weekend. And by the way, it's a day's trip from Phoenix.
Right.
So just rounding it out for our viewers, a lot of history in this facility, a lot of history in Old Town, re-emergence that has happened down here, and as well as with the facility. The clubhouse was originally the Civic Center not too long ago, and it was named after the Civic Club that had deeded it over to the city. Well, when we had the building refurbished, we noticed that there's a big metal plaque on the side of the building that says Cottonwood Community Clubhouse, and we took it back to that because we feel strongly about community. And I'm your host here for this episode of Inside Cottonwood, talking about the clubhouse. I'm lucky to have Debbie Garrison here with us and the Garrison family, and this is how we inspire vibrant community for the city of Cottonwood. Thank you.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.org.
Well, Debbie, here we are. We're standing outside. We just got done chatting about the clubhouse and the history. We wanted to close it out, but you had one more piece of information that I think our viewers need to know.
In 1939, April 1939, the cornerstone was laid here, and inside that cornerstone there's a 1937 nickel, the Verde Valley Shopping News, an Arizona Republic, as well as many other things. And that was something that the Cottonwood, or the community civic club had come up with, that they wanted to lay in the cornerstone of this building.
It's kind of like a little time capsule here.
Yes.
Get your hammer out. I'm kidding. Don't get your hammer.
Don't get your hammer out.
So thanks for joining us today, and we're happy that we inspire a vibrant community. Check out the clubhouse, and it's yours to rent if you'd like.